You are listening to the Corey Lee Fitness and Leadership Podcast, where our goal is to help encourage you and motivate you to get moving and to stay moving. Now, let's welcome your host, Corey Lee.
Good morning and welcome to the Corey Lee Fitness and Leadership Podcast. Today I want to talk to you about GSD, getting stuff done. I know every single one of us are busy. We live busy lives and there's always things on our to-do list. Well, today I want to talk to you about prioritizing the most important tasks. So hope you take a listen. I hope my whole goal, again, is to impact you, add value to you in a positive way. So take a listen. Feel free to share. Have a great day. Now, I know every single one of us are busy. And that's really actually one of the big excuses I hear. And sometimes I even say it myself. I'm just too busy. However, a few things that I have come to realize over time is that being busy, it doesn't always mean getting stuff done. GSD, right? Getting stuff done or being active doesn't always equal accomplishing anything. So we all know, every single one of us get 24 hours in a day, no more or no less. God doesn't look at one person and say, you're going to get some stuff done. I'm going to give you 32. And he doesn't look at me and say, Corey, you're not going to be very productive. I'm going to take some away from you. You're only going to get 16. Now, every single one of us gets 24 hours in a day. Well, if that's the case, then how are there some people that just seem to be so much more productive and reach their goals while others not so much? Well, I tell you, those people that are productive, they figured out 5 of the things that I'm going to share with you here in just a little bit. And there are 5 ways that can help you chip away at that to-do list. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is your to-do list. I got a cool quote here that I'm going to share with you. It's by Robert J. McCain, and he said, "The reason most major goals are not achieved is that we're spending our time doing second things first." Now, if you're like me, that to-do list that you've got, it's got like 993 things on it, 998 things on it, right? So it makes it difficult to even know where to even begin. We got all these things, like, where do I even start at? I don't even know where to start at. If you've ever been to the circus, you may have seen the lion tamer, right? You got the big old cage and the lion's in there, and the tamer comes in and he gets the lion to do all these tricks and perform doing basically whatever he says. So this trainer, a guy or girl, and just comes straight off into this cage with this big old lion, right? And the lion is a big old kitty cat. He just does whatever the trainer tells him to do, right? He just does whatever. Well, what I read a book one time and explained how that happens. Some of the trainers will go in there with a chair, right? And they'll go in there holding the back of the chair, and 4 legs of the chair are pointing at the lion, the big old kitty cat, I guess you say, because he's doing whatever the trainer tells him to do. So what happens, you got these 4 legs pointing at the lion, and the lion's eyes are trying to focus on all 4 at the same time. And it divides its focus and causes that lion to be overcome and be paralyzed from taking action or doing anything that a lion normally would do, right? It overwhelms him. So you think about us, we have so many different things that we can do. We've got this long to-do list of things that we've got to take action on. If we look at that big long list, isn't that the same thing that happens to us? And it can happen every day, right? We've got that long to-do list, and it paralyzes us from even taking action on anything. So I've got a few ways, I've got 5 ways that you can knock out your to-do list, be more productive, and feel great about what you accomplished. And that's the goal, is knocking out. You've got the goals, and this can be in any area of your life. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's business or work or family or spiritual life. Every single area of your life, this can help you in having these 5 things right here. But to do that, we've got to take a step back and get a bigger picture perspective of where we're at. So here are the 5 things, right? And the first one, you've probably heard this one before, but we got to work smarter instead of harder. Working smarter has a higher return than just working harder, right? And I know you've probably heard that at some point in your life, but there's a ton of truth in that. We've got to rethink how we're currently doing things. That means finding better ways to work, making the most of every single moment that we have. I got another quote that's really good. It's by Dan Kennedy. He says, "Disciplined use of the time everyone else waits can give you an edge." Give you an edge in any area of life. Most people are just floating through life. They're wasting time, really. If you can be disciplined with your time, you have an advantage. You can take an advantage, again, whatever area of life that is, whether you're looking to lose weight, open up a business, lead your family well, whatever that is. So number 2 is you can't have it all. Right? You can't have it all. You can't do every single thing on that list all at one time. And basically this comes down to knowing what you want. You've got that goal. You've got to know where you want to go. If not, you're just floating along and the next shiny thing that comes along, we'll jump at it. Right? So think about, I'm sure you guys have done this. I know I have. You think about if you're buying a birthday card or a Christmas card or a thank you card, whatever. And you're there, you're at the store, and you see like 100,000, 45, 7,000 different cards, right, to choose from. You become overwhelmed. He's like, which one do you even get? Well, it's the same thing in our life. You have to know where you want to go, know where you currently are and where you're going. Otherwise, it's going to be very easy to get sidetracked by that shiny new object. So the next one, number 3, is good is always the enemy of great. Man, I love that quote. Good is always the enemy of great. You know, most people, I even shared this the other day, I think. Most people can prioritize between good and bad, or they can prioritize between right and wrong. The real challenge comes when we're faced with 2 decisions that are both good. Both of them are good. But you can't always have both. So you got to remember the good must sometimes be sacrificed for the best. When you say yes to one thing, you're also saying no to something else. So make sure what you're saying yes to takes you towards your goal, not further away from it. I got a little story here that I'm going to read. This is out of John Maxwell's new book. Man, it's one of my new favorite books of all time. It has got some great information in there. And a lot of this information comes from it. But the first 2 chapters of this book, I'll tell you, will totally make a difference in your leadership, in leading your family, your business, whatever role that you are playing. But I'm going to read this story, and it is from his book, but this is really good right here, okay? And it refers to what we're talking about right here, that good is the enemy of great. So, right, think about it. There's this lighthouse keeper who lived on a rocky stretch of coastland before the days of electricity, right? And once a month, he would receive a supply of oil to keep that light burning at the lighthouse. And he didn't live very far from town, so he often had visitors come in to see him. He said, one night, an old lady came from the village, and she was begging for some oil to keep her family warm. He had some pity on her. He was a nice guy, right? He wanted to take care of her, so he gave her some oil. And then another time, a father asked for some oil for his lamp so that he could search for his missing son. So again, it was another person that needed some oil that he wanted to help. So another person needed some oil to keep the machinery going, said that his and employees could keep working. Each request was good, and each time the lighthouse keeper gave them the oil for the worthy cause. Towards the end of the month, he noticed the supply of oil was very low. By the last night of the month, it was totally gone, and the beacon on the lighthouse totally went out. That night, a storm came in, and a ship wrecked on the rocks, and lives were lost. When the authorities investigated the man was very repentant, but there was only one reply. One reply. You were given oil for one purpose, And that purpose was to keep the lighthouse burning, to keep the light burning. Good, again, is the enemy of the best. All right, that's number 3. Number four, proactive beats reactive. The question isn't, will I have things to do? Every single one of us have things to do. I know my list is from the ceiling to the floor right there, right, of things that I got to do. But the real question is, will I do things that actually make a difference? You can choose or you can lose. Being proactive, that means you are choosing. Being reactive means you're losing. Here's the difference right here, right? Proactive people, they prepare, they plan ahead, they do the difficult task, they seize the moment. They put their own priorities on their calendars, and this will make more sense here in a minute. They put their own priorities on their calendar, and then they invest in people. They take the time to invest in people. Reactive people, what they do is they wait and then they repair, right? They live in the moment. They react to the problems instead of being proactive and being prepared. They wait for the easy task to come to them. So think about this in business. The proactive people, they're making the phone calls. The reactive people, they're waiting on the phone to call them. Probably ain't going to happen. Reactive people, they wait for the right time. They put other people's requests on their calendar. They're allowing other people's requests to control their time and their calendar. And then they also spend time with people instead of invest in people. That's a big thing. Number 5, this is the last one. I'm finishing up here. The important need to take precedence over the urgent. The important need to take precedence over the urgent. You know, as our list grows and it gets longer and longer and longer, you can either agonize over that or you can organize your list. Got a couple of simple ways for you to do that. Here's a simple way that you can help you classify the things on your list. The goal is to determine how important that task actually is and how urgent it is. You know, most unproductive people, what they'll do is they'll jump on the urgent task first. I've got to get this done. This is urgent. This is urgent. But it doesn't always lead to being the most productive. So productive people, what they do is they weigh both factors. They weigh, is this urgent? And is this importance? And then they act accordingly. So here's how you can list those things on your list. You can list them as high importance and high urgency activities. These are the things that you need to take care of first. You tackle these are the first things on your list. The next set on the list is something that's high importance, but it's got a little low urgency. So for these, you got to set the deadlines for when you want to complete them and then fit those tasks into your daily routine right there. And the other one is low importance, but it's got a high urgency. So for these right here, you've got to find a quick, efficient way to get these tasks done with minimal time from you. So these tasks, they can be delegated to someone else. The last one is a task that is low importance. It's got a low urgency. These things, you got to just get rid of them. You got to either completely eliminate them, or if you can delegate them, you need to delegate them. If it's something that you just have to do, then schedule an hour, block in your week, and just chip away at it. But never schedule these things during your prime time, when you are at your best. If you're a morning person, that's your best. If you're a night owl, not me, that is when you're at your best. Save that for your prime time. So I hope today has added value to you. Thanks for taking a listen. If it has added value to you, I hope that you will take this and share it with someone else. Maybe it'll add value to them. Most of this material was from John Maxwell's new book, Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. I will be doing a leadership training, a mastermind on this book. Great information. It will take your leadership to the next level. So if you're interested in that, be looking out for that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day and God bless.